Hi vinyl community, it's Mike here, and today, 6th of January, it's exactly 2 years since I made my first video for the vinyl community. And like many people, my first video was Vinyl Tag 2023. So what I thought I'd do to celebrate this momentous event for me is to tell you about the things that I really like about being a member of the vinyl community. And the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to tell you what the things are, and then I'm going to give a shout out to a channel who I think sort of epitomise what I'm talking about, if that makes sense. So right, first off, what I really like is connecting with people who share my love of recorded music, of vinyl records, and all things musical. And the way we contact each other, mainly the way we communicate, is primarily through the comments on the videos. So what I did is I had a look back, and I had a look at my very first video and tried to work out who was the first person that commented on a video of mine. And it turns out that the first person to comment on my video, and it was a nice comment, was Vinyl Richie. And you'll all know Vinyl Richie over there in California. He's a stalwart of the vinyl community. He's been doing this stuff for years, and always enjoy his videos. So what I'll do is I'll show a record that I think Richie will either have in his collection, or maybe it sort of typifies what might be in his collection. And I've gone for this. It's Los Angeles by the band X. There it is. This is a reissue, and yeah, I really love this album, Richie. And it's what have we got on here? Oh yeah, The World's a Mess. It's in My Kiss, which was I think the first thing that I ever heard from X, and it was probably on John Pill's radio show. But there you go. So that's for you, Richie. X and Los Angeles. Right. The other thing I like are threads and contests and tags. You know, it's a really good way of providing content for your own channel, isn't it? You know, you just do what somebody else has asked you to do. I would say one thing though, is that sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. I'm subscribed to so many channels now that, you know, tags and contests and threads are coming up again and again, and you just can't get to them all. So you have to sort of pick and choose. But about a month or so ago, a guy from Canada, lovely guy, everybody knows him, I think. It's Jack. His channel is Vinyl Martini, and Jack was celebrating 3 years in the vinyl community. So he decided to do a contest, and the contest was to show compilation albums, which I thought was a really good one because I love comps. I really love compilation albums. I think it's a good way of getting to sort of know about sort of new music. You know, listen to bands that you might not have listened to before. But the really nice thing is, instead of offering a prize to the winner, Jack decided that he was going to donate some money to his local food bank. And I thought that's an absolutely brilliant gesture. It kind of epitomises, you know, what nice people there are in the vinyl community, doesn't it? And maybe, BC, you know, we should make that a thing. Instead of offering prizes to our contests and competitions, we should say, look, I'm doing this, come along with me, and I'll donate some money to a charity. And I think it'd be a great way of sort of carrying on in 2025 and beyond. So anyway, Jack shows a lot of sort of 70s and 80s sort of you know, classic rock. He doesn't buy an awful lot of new music, I think. But one band that I know that he does like, and he's been buying quite a lot of stuff recently of theirs, and that's the Groundhogs. So I show this album, and it's Thank Christ for the Bomb. It's my favourite Groundhogs album, and I'm pretty certain that you got this in your collection, Jack. So that's for Jack, the Groundhogs. Right, another thing that I've come to like about the vinyl community, and there's a bit of a caveat here, sometimes things can go a little bit awry, and that people can start squabbling and saying things that maybe they shouldn't say. But generally, I really like live streams. And every Thursday night, uh, myself and a group of friends, we go on a live stream that's run by Ian, and we chew the fat. We have a chat, show some records, and have a lovely time. And I sort of really look forward to that. But the live stream that I'm going to shout out is for another great guy. He's over in Canada. He's a French guy, and he's called Ramold. And his channel is called French Vinyl Addict. And he collects a lot of prog, classic prog music. And I'm quite steeped in sort of prog rock myself. Back in the 70s, I was buying an awful lot of it, all the sort of classic prog rock, mainly the British bands. But Ramonda's got this knack of showing me stuff, from that era and beyond that I just don't know anything about. And or stuff that I know vaguely about. I might know the name of the band, but I don't know the albums. And it's usually stuff from continental Europe or from Canada. And I really like that because I really like it when people show music that I like, but I don't know a lot about, if you know what I mean. That's part of the joy of discovering new music via the vinyl community. Anyway, he invited me onto his live stream not so long ago, probably about 4 weeks ago now. And there were some other people on that live stream. There was another French guy who lives in Australia, Fred, Big Star 1000, who's got an absolutely brilliant record collection. We had a really good chat, and then there was Stunty, another French guy, Stunt Rock Confusion. He was there as well. And there was somebody else I'll come to next, somebody who I followed for quite a long time. Anyway, I'll talk about him in a minute. So back to Ramold, French Vinyl Addict. So I thought, what shall I show for him? So I thought I'd show this, and it's an album from 1976. It's the self-titled album from the band National Health, and they're a Canterbury prog band. And this is a really nice album. So you've got the band members on here are Dave Stewart, Phil Miller, Neil Murray, and Pip Pyle. And then there are other people here as well. John Mitchell, Alan Gowan, Amanda Parsons, and the great Jimmy Hastings. So I'm sure you probably got this record, but if you haven't, hunt it down because it's really nice. And I said 76, didn't I? It's actually 1977. So that's a bit of prog for the French Vinyl Addict. Right, now the other guy I was talking to on Ramold's live stream was a guy from Melbourne, and it's Ben. And I believe that, Ben and I have been living in parallel musical universes for many, many years. So he shows primarily Australian music, a lot of punk, a lot of garage, the sort of stuff I like, a lot of indie, psych, other sort of stuff. But 9 times out of 10, the bands that he shows are bands that I knew absolutely nothing about. There's Eddie Current, Suppression Ring, and the great sort of Mikey Young, Beast of Bourbon, lots and lots of bands that are really fantastic bands that I've listened to because Ben has mentioned them. And, I've been buying this stuff up, so you've cost me a lot of money, Ben. So, as I say, it's like a parallel universe. It's this Australian music, and it's the same sort of music, but it's different bands to the ones I was used to. And I like to think that, if I had been living in Melbourne or Sydney or somewhere, back in the 70s and 80s, I would have been buying the sort of records that Ben has in his collection. So I'll show you a record that I bought very recently on Ben's recommendation, and that's the Triffids, and this is from the mid-80s. It's indie rock, I suppose, and it's called Born Sandy Devotional, probably their most famous album. And yeah, it's really great. These albums have been sort of reissued quite recently, so there's a few other Triffids albums that I'll be getting sometime soon, probably. So that's for Ben. Somebody who puts new music in my direction, and I'm only too happy to give it a listen. And if I like it, I go out and buy it, add it to my collection. Right. What else do I like about the vinyl community? I like it when people do a bit of crate digging, when they take us on a trip to the record store or elsewhere, or a boot fair, and they show us what they're sort of digging through in the crates, and it's always nice to sort of see what's there. And my friend Michael Ricefields Records, who's in Japan, he does some really nice videos, go into some very sort of original and interesting record stores in Tokyo and elsewhere in Japan. And some of the stuff that are in these record stores is absolutely fantastic, and I'm just fascinated by what you can get in Japan. But the guy I'm going to mention is, again, somebody who I think just about everybody knows in the vinyl community, and that's JT. His channel is JT's Record Room, and JT's crate digging is primarily at a place called Bill's Garage, which is, as it says on the tin, it's Bill's Garage. It's a garage attached to a house, and you open the doors and it's packed floor to ceiling with crates of used vinyl. And I really love seeing, what's on show there. And JT buys the stuff, comes home, and shows us what he picked up. And yeah, he's very generous with his comments as well. If you comment on JT's videos, you always get a nice reply from him, and I really like that. I really like the interaction, as I said, at the start of this video. But recently, JT did a video, and he was ranking some of the early or some of the best Joni Mitchell albums. And so I thought I'd show a bit of Joni Mitchell for JT, and it's this one. Yeah. Not my favourite Joni Mitchell album, but the opening track is Coyote, and Coyote is one of my all-time favourite Joni Mitchell songs. So there you go, JT. It's Joni Mitchell for you. Right. The other thing, or the next thing that I really like about the vinyl community, is that people are joining all the time. You keep discovering new channels, and there's been quite a few this year. It's Andy Fuld. I'm not sure if it was in 2024 or maybe 2023. Anyway, Andy Fuld, Andy's albums, shows a lot of new music. It's a great channel. And then there's Jack, the Vinyl Voyage. Jack buys a lot of second-hand vinyl from house clearances and whatever. And the guy's got a wicked sense of humour, and it's a really great channel. And Gavin as well. And Gav's from the Midlands in the UK, and his channel is Gav Axeman Spins, and I always enjoy his videos, especially when you show some Irish stuff, Gav. I really like that. But I think that the channel that I'm going to highlight here is an American guy. He's called Richard S. And the reason I'm talking about him is because he shows a lot of new music, and we have a lot of crossover, I think, in our musical tastes. But Richard knows an awful lot more about shoegaze than I ever will, I think. And he made a series of videos. I think it was 3 videos. It might have been 4, showing his shoegaze collection. And there was quite a lot that I knew about, but an awful lot that I didn't. And it sort of, piqued my curiosity, and I've listened to quite a lot of the stuff that you showed, Richard, that I didn't really know about, or sort of like it passed me by. And yeah, yet more records that are on my list to buy. So I thought, well, let's show a bit of shoegaze from quite close to home to me. So this is a band from Hull, which is on the east coast of England. It's about 50 miles east of me. And this band, the new band, they've been going for a couple of years now, I think, and they're called Bedroom. And this is their album called I Don't Know. And, I like the cover. I like the cover. And yeah, it's a really nice bit of sort of news sort of shoegaze. And my copy came with a really nice signed print. So that's for you, Richard. That's Bedroom, and I don't know, a bit of shoegaze. But I think you probably got, I'm sure you know about Bedroom. And they've got a new album coming out pretty soon. I think it's in February, so I'm looking forward to that. Right. The other thing I like is there's quite a few international channels. And by that, I mean, channels that are from the non-English speaking world, mainly sort of channels from Europe. And there are some great ones there. I'm thinking of Tommy's Vinyl Naught. Now, Tommy is in Finland, and he's the king of hardcore punk, and absolutely brilliant channel. He shows stuff that I just don't know. I mean, 99 times out of 100, the album or single he shows is by a band that I just don't know, but I really like that. And it's stuff that I've been investigating some of that stuff. Some of it I like, some of it, you know, not so good, but it's really, really nice. A guy from Sweden, and that's Jonas, vinyls.com. Again, he's got a great taste in music. He shows singles from time to time, which I always really like. But the channel that I'm going to shout out is a channel that I've been subscribed to now for quite some time, and that is Morten Astad. And Morten is in Norway, in Oslo. He's sometimes been in Denmark, but he's in Oslo at the moment. And I first noticed his channel when he did Record Store Day, and I think it was Record Store Day 2023. And he took us on a little trip, and it started with Morten locking up his front door, getting on his bike, and riding to the record store. Then he queued up, bought some stuff, came home, and showed us what he got. And I thought, yeah, that's a really, really nice video. And another thing that Morten does is he often shows us the sights and sounds of Oslo and the surrounding countryside. And I really love that as well. I like to see sort of what's going on in Oslo, which to me seems like a very nice city. It doesn't seem to be too crowded. It just looks like a very laid back city. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but that's the impression that I get. Anyway, Morten, I know that you like all things Celtic, and I'm 99.9% certain that you have this album in your collection. In fact, I'm 100% certain that you have. And it's by this lady. It's by Gwenno, and her album, Cov. And Gwenno has got sort of Welsh and Cornish blood in her. I think one parent is Welsh, the other one is Cornish, and she speaks both languages fluently. And this album, The Cov, is actually sung almost entirely in Cornish, although there is a little bit of Welsh in there as well. And it's an absolutely lovely album, and I know you like it, Morten. So that's for you. It's The Cov by Gwenno. And finally, but certainly not least, it's somebody who I consider to be, one of my greatest friends in the vinyl community, because not only, have I met this guy online, I've met him on a number of occasions in real life, and he's exactly the same if you meet him than he is when you see him online on his channel. The guy is absolutely brilliant. He knows a lot about ska and punk and rocksteady, and he's really rekindled my sort of interest in that sort of music. I already loved it. I mean, back in the day, I was, really keen on, the Specials and Madness, and all the two-tone stuff, and just, but it's just kind of like, fallen away in my sort of interest recently, and he talks about this stuff quite a lot, and it's rekindled my interest. So thank you for that, Nick, and I think we're going to meet up again sort of February, March time, aren't we, for another dig round Leeds Record Fair, and I'm looking forward to that. But The record I'm going to show is one that I picked up at Record Fair about 2 months ago, and it's Rhoda Dakar. It's called Version Girl, and Rhoda Dakar was a member of Special, aka, and another band whose name has completely escaped me. It will come to me, and it's a really, yeah, it's my age, Nick. But anyway, it's the Body Snatchers, isn't it? She was in the Body Snatchers. There you go, got there in the end. So this is an album with covers. You've got Stop Your Sobbing, Every Day is Like Sunday, a really lovely ska sort of version of What a Wonderful World. Walking After Midnight, Lou Reed's Hanging Round, As Tears Go By, and then Elvis Costello's Peace, Love and Understanding. And this is a brilliant album, and I saw it there, and I don't think I would have bought it had you not mentioned it probably a week or so earlier to me. So thank you for that, Nick. So that's it really. So that's just sort of me sort of reminiscing on my 2 years in the vinyl community. That by and large has been a fantastic time, and you know I love all the channels that I mentioned there, and a whole lot more. I'm subscribed to so many people nowadays, and you all do absolutely brilliant stuff. So, keep it up for 2025 and beyond, and I'll be really happy. So, until next time, I'll see you. Bye bye.